right now on 10 News at 11.
Breaking news, an officer hurt during a bank heist. A mall now locked down as SWAT moves in.
North Korea blasting a missile off the coast of South Korea. And U.S. intelligence spots something even more disturbing, the troubling weapon photographed next to Kim Jong-un.
And a man attacked and abducted in his own neighborhood. How a Good Samaritan's gut feelings saved that man's life.
10 News begins with breaking news.
SWAT teams descend on a strip mall in Colton near San Bernardino tonight after gunfire from inside a Chase bank. The robbers shot at police through the front door glass. One officer sustained minor injuries. The SWAT team waited to go into the bank because of a suspicious device next to the robber. Once inside, officers found the suspect dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No one else was hurt.
Also tonight, disturbing news out of North Korea just as denuclearization talks with the U.S. are set to resume.
New satellite pictures indicate Kim Jong-un could soon deploy a nuclear-capable submarine. Kim was recently seen inspecting the missile-ready sub.
This submarine does appear to be capable of carrying multiple ballistic missiles, possibly as many as 3 or 4. And once they build this and they build it out, I fully expect that they'll continue building submarines like this.
Today, South Korea's military says the North fired a ballistic missile from its eastern waters. That missile may have been fired from a submarine, which is harder to detect.
North Korea's nuclear forces are advancing very rapidly now. They're providing Kim Jong-un with an additional measure of security and may cause him to behave more assertively relative to his neighbors.
The New York Times reports the Trump administration is aware of the possible missile launch. Abducted and held captive against his will, a South Bay kidnapping stopped with the help of a Good Samaritan who spotted the victim's frantic signal for help.
Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke with the woman who police say saved that man's life.
Yeah, that's right. That Good Samaritan did not want to go on camera, but says that the victim signaled for help through a window of a parked car. That window, just to give you an idea, was open about this much. The victim was only able to push his hand through, and a white cloth. He started waving it frantically, desperately hoping that someone could see that he was asking for help. The kidnapping happened along this busy stretch of Broadway. Police say a 36-year-old man was walking back to his car when he was attacked and abducted by 2 men in a pickup truck Sunday night. They took him nearly 7 miles away to this neighborhood. They handed him over to another man in another truck, parked along Sequoia Street near Presidio Point Court. The man was supposed to guard the victim, but when that man fell asleep, the victim took advantage of a slightly cracked window. He tried to signal at cars driving by waving a white cloth. At around 11:15 Monday morning, his persistence paid off as someone spotted him and called police. Now, police arrested 2 suspects. They're still looking for a third one. A motive for the kidnapping still under investigation. We're reporting live in Chula Vista. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. Now to a 10 News follow-up. The Santee Sheriff's Department says a potential attempted kidnapping that we reported on earlier is now unfounded. An 11-year-old boy's mother posted on Facebook that a couple approached her son at Wood Glen Vista Park yesterday. She says they asked the boy to go with them to help catch their dogs at a nearby park. Well, the boy ran home and told his mother. The Santee School District sent robocall alerts to parents as a precaution to remind them to talk with their kids about watching out for strangers. Homicide detectives are still at a home in Fallbrook tonight where someone died under suspicious circumstances. Sky 10 flew over the house on Live Oak Park Road and North Ridge Drive. We called the Sheriff's Department tonight, but no new information has been released.
Yep, it's like the bad old days.
Well, people who use Verizon near the border say they can't get a signal. It's a problem that 10 News has been tracking for more than a month. And 10 News reporter Jeff Lasky uncovered the high-level efforts to find a fix.
Been sitting on one bar ever since we got down here to the border, but the signal isn't strong enough for me to get a call out. And apparently, I'm far from the only one.
I've been a customer of Verizon for 30 years.
Now Jackie Metcalf is a frustrated customer because the service she relies on is no longer reliable.
It's a problem. I'm a real estate agent, and so I need my phone, and I keep getting error messages.
10 News first revealed the problem back in August. That's when a Mexican company called Alton launched its wireless service using the same spectrum band as Verizon. It created massive interference, making connecting on this side of the border hit or miss at best for Verizon customers. We started running into signal problems once we got south of H Street.
Getting tired of it now.
Yet the problem still has no end in sight. 10 News obtained this letter written by Texas Senator Ted Cruz, imploring Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Federal Communications Commission Chairman Ajit Pai to act. He warned of dire effects to U.S. networks, including those used by law enforcement, hospitals, and the military. Just today, a Chula Vista Police Department spokesperson told me the Verizon issue is having a negative impact on their phones and even their ability to use their innovative drone systems. 10 News also obtained the FCC chairman's response to Senator Cruz, 2 pages detailing the FCC's consultations with Mexican counterparts. However, in the last paragraph, quote, "Unfortunately, I cannot tell you the situation has been resolved." In fact, they lay out no timeline to solve the problem. A Verizon spokesperson has told 10 News the company is working as quickly as possible for a resolution.
I'm just hoping it'll go away and get better.
In Chula Vista, Jeff Lasky, 10 News.
All right, now to the impeachment investigation against President Trump. He took to Twitter today, calling the impeachment effort a coup. This comes as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accuses House Democrats of bullying. ABC News has learned that Pompeo was listening in on that July 25th phone call in which Trump asked the Ukrainian president for a political favor. Just days ago, Pompeo was subpoenaed by congressional investigators for documents related to State Department's role. 3 committee chairmen leading this investigation say that Pompeo's connection to the Trump-Ukraine phone call makes him a possible fact witness. They warned him that any effort to intimidate witnesses or prevent them from talking with Congress is illegal.
California's attempts to force presidential candidates to release their tax returns before appearing on the primary ballot has now been blocked by a federal judge. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the new law into law in July as a way to force President Trump to release his returns. The president's attorneys immediately sued, and today's decision will likely be appealed to the Ninth Circuit Court. And tears in court today from a woman who says she tried to stop a friend from driving drunk.
I looked at him, his feet, and he couldn't catch his balance because I was telling him let go, but she was driving too fast.
Gabriela Rojo testified she watched her friend and co-worker dragged to his death. Surveillance video shows Rojo and Ha Min-ta argue with their co-worker Letisa Ingram, and they urged her not to get behind the wheel after they went out drinking in July. Ha tried to physically stop Ingram, but she took off. Ha was still hanging onto the driver's side door.
And I yelled for Ha to let go, because as soon as she reversed, she was leaving the lot with Ha still there.
Prosecutors say Ha died after Ingram ran him over. She faces several charges, including murder. Her trial is set for February 4th.
A new law this year is allowing the public to see how local police departments operate and investigate themselves. And here at 10 News, we're taking all of this newly released information and launching an initiative called the Transparency Project. We're putting all this information on our website at the top of 10news.com. Right there, you're going to find a link to the Transparency Project. Click that. It will take you to the page where you will find an explanation about the project, stories that we're working on, and ways to access the database we created with all these records. If you click on Centerpiece, there will be more information about the project, the local law enforcement agencies that have released files, and more links to the searchable database where you can find cases by the name of the officer involved, the name of the victim, the suspect, and the department. This is, of course, a work in progress. New files are being released by departments almost on a weekly basis. We are committed to publishing everything that is released.
I parked only for 2 minutes and I got a ticket.
They're great for people who ride bikes, but some downtown business owners are frustrated with the new protected bike lanes. 10 News reporter Matt Boone spoke to businesses who say the new changes to the roads have had unintended consequences.
Well, this block of 6th Avenue between B and C streets used to have commercial unloading on this side. Now this bike lane is here. It doesn't, and that's caused issues for some of the businesses here. Now the city says there's still unloading zones down the block and up the street, but those businesses say it's not enough.
It's still a new concept in downtown San Diego. These protected bike lanes were only installed a few months ago.
It's great. You don't have to worry about getting hit.
Jordan Green bikes here often and says these have helped downtown's bad reputation among bicyclists.
A lot of my friends, they don't like riding downtown because of the traffic.
But there is a trade-off, at least for some business owners, after the city removed parking spots and a commercial loading zone on the block.
We're having a lot of issue with loading and unloading supplies.
Ban Pinak is the general manager of Tatsaka, a vegetarian Thai restaurant. He says there are now only 2 spots on their side of the street, which are often full and convert to 3-minute passenger loading after 6 p.m.
I have to park right in here and try to unload as much as I can and take a lap and then come back just in case.
Next door, the owner of Coffee and Talk Cafe has had similar issues while trying to unload materials.
I parked it only for 2 minutes and I got a ticket.
It's not just hard for him, he says he also gets large orders from suppliers.
2 days ago I had 1,200 pounds of coffee and the guy didn't know where to park. He asked me, he said, where should I park? I said, I don't know. I need to get this to serve tomorrow.
Over the past 2 months, he says he's also noticed a decline in the number of online delivery orders on apps like Grubhub.
It's because drivers doesn't want to come here.
He says he doesn't want to get rid of the bike lanes entirely, but hopes the design will be reviewed.
Now the city of San Diego did send us a statement. They say these bike lanes are designed to make it safer for everyone in the city to get around. They say there are commercial loading zones nearby, down the block, around the block. As for the ticket that business owner got, they said drivers are encouraged to follow the posted signage. Reporting in downtown, Matt Boone, 10 News.